Environment Canada released their top 10 weather stories of 2020. And of course, they did it in a 2020 fashion over a Zoom call.
Extreme weather did not take a time out in 2020. No region and no season was spared. There was no kind of weatherproofing in this country.
Alberta takes the top spot and the not-so-coveted prize of most appearances on this year's top 10 weather events of 2020. But the list starts with the active long weekend in both the east and the west. With an outbreak of tornadoes over the long weekend in Ontario, 4 confirmed tornadoes with winds in excess of 190 kilometers per hour being observed.
In the west, my gosh, it was really a rip-roaring kind of weekend. We had 187 thunderstorm bulletins were issued by Environment and Climate Change Canada that weekend.
Number 9 on the list was the tale of 2 falls across the country, with endless summer in the east and the west skipping right over pumpkin spice season and right into hot cocoa weather. Spring was also a bummer for most of the country, but it aligned with the beginning of the pandemic, and it may actually have helped the country isolate a bit more. A monster tornado takes the next spot on the list, August 7th near Scarth, Manitoba.
265 kilometers per hour, an EF3 tornado, and it tracked along the ground about 11 kilometers. And at one point, it lifted up a pickup truck and with 2 occupants inside. It carried it over a kilometer away and smashed it to the ground, tragically killing the young teenagers.
And the 2020 hurricane season will probably top the worldwide list for top weather stories, but in Canada, it only comes in at 6. 30 named storms, many from the Greek alphabet, but it was Teddy in the Maritimes causing huge waves and dumping a month's worth of rain. Leave it to Newfoundland to turn an epic snowstorm into a good time. With nearly 80 centimeters of snow falling in St. John's, 18 hours of blizzard conditions, and snowdrifts stacked high, the city was buried. It was the blistering summer in the east at number 4, Ottawa seeing 4 days over 35 degrees, and Toronto seeing over 35 days over 30 degrees. The average number for that should be closer to 16. The rest of the list is from the west. Number 3, the 100-year flood in Fort McMurray, Alberta, where an ice jam led to hundreds of millions of dollars in flood damage and forced 13,000 to flee. Where there's smoke, there's usually fire, but that wasn't the case in British Columbia this September.
4 million British Columbians had to breathe and taste and smell this choking smoke that was produced some of the dirtiest, foulest air in the world at that particular time.
And the top spot is in, you guessed it, Alberta, Calgary.
Well, they can add to their list this year the weather superlative of the most expensive hailstorm in Canadian history.
1 minute's worth of hail causing nearly $1.5 billion in damage. And to this date, there are still homes that have yet to be repaired. I think we're all ready to say goodbye to 2020, especially the insurance adjusters and anybody impacted by this year's extreme weather. In Toronto, Adam Stiles, City News.